Welcome to season 2 of Where Passion Meets Purpose. I'm your host, Jen Mentasana. Each week, I sit down with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and trailblazers who share their raw, real stories of perseverance, resilience, and building a life and business with impact. We talk about everything from entrepreneurship and family to purpose and living fully. My goal is to inspire you to start that dream, push through the hard seasons, and wake up every single day ready to live the life you were born to live with passion and purpose. Welcome back, everyone, to Where Passion Meets Purpose. Today on the show, we have my friend Jordan. She is awesome. I met Jordan maybe about a year ago at an event, just networking, having an amazing conversation. And I've wanted to connect with her and have her on the show forever. Jordan has a social media company, a social media agency. She can guide you through content creation and all those amazing things. She does coaching on social media. She's also a health and wellness expert. She's been a wellness coach since she was 19 years old, which is incredible. And she was a fitness trainer and has been in the fitness world forever and has an amazing story about how she kind of moved on from that. So I can't wait to have Jordan on the show and introduce her to all of you. So thank you for being here. And Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
It's so fun. So I have been following your career for probably the past year, watching what you do, especially when it comes to content creation and just making experiences. I mean, I follow, Brooke Hemingway, who you do a lot of her content creation for her, and she's amazing and she does a lot. And you are always kind of bringing everything that she does to life. And I've been so just inspired. Well, I mean, you really do make it look like we're in the room. And so I'm so inspired by what you do and how you do it. And I want to dive into like how you got started, your story from the get-go. I want to talk about, how you got started as a wellness coach at 19, because that's really young. Like I just got into coaching in my early 30s. So for me, I'm like, wow, I want to hear what was the impetus to that. So let's start with kind of, what was your original, passion, if you will, that got you into the wellness space and coaching?
Yeah, we'll go back a little bit, guys. So I actually started teaching fitness at 17. I think it was 16 was the minimum age you could start teaching Zumba. And so I found Zumba at 15 years old. It changed my life. I really believe that it gave me the confidence to go after things. And I loved just seeing what it was like when people would walk in the door and when they would leave, they would be totally different. Loved the community. And I thought, I want to start doing this. I want to create experiences like that. And so I went and got certified at 17, started teaching my first class the next day, and taught all over Oklahoma City Metro, multiple different gyms. It was so fun. And, despite being in fitness and all the things, being an athlete, I still struggled with my health a lot. And so I was looking for solutions, finally found something that worked for me. And at 19, I really started helping people with their health, even more so than just fitness. So it was amazing. It's so fun.
So cool. That's amazing. And so did you feel like that wellness piece of it was really because you were trying to figure out your own health? And then once you kind of delved into that, you were ready to kind of help other people?
Yeah, I just feel like, when you find something that is amazing and completely changes your life, I was doing all the right things and then found something that really helped me. And I said, other people need this too. And so I came at it from a place of, if I felt that way at 19 with what I was already doing, I knew other people felt that way too. So I couldn't help but share.
Yeah, it's like, that's why the show is called Where Passion Meets Purpose, because it's kind of like when something happens to you that is so personal, you take it on and you're like, wow, this hit me like a ton of bricks. Like there's a reason why this happened. And now I need to go turn my pain into purpose and help others who are going through the same thing.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So cool. Okay. So you did that for how many years?
I taught fitness for 13 years.
Wow.
And yeah, since I was 17 years old, and loved it.
Wow. And then what happened? How did you kind of move on from there?
So we were talking about this before we started recording, and I just feel like sometimes God will say, hey, I think this season's done for you. And sometimes we are hard learns if you're like myself. And so in 2023 in March, I actually I was teaching hip hop and I hurt my knee. And so I went to PT, I rehabbed it, went really hard on there. And then I was like, I'm going to come back. But I was hearing some things that he was like, hey, this season's been wonderful for you, but I have something better. Like, it's going to shift. I know that you love helping people. We're going to move in this way. And I said, I'm not doing that. And so I went back and I was telling Jen in the same week, almost same month, a year later, it happened again. And I just didn't have that sense that I needed to go back again for the third time. And so, yeah, I went to PT, but I knew it was my time to be done.
So you finally listened.
I finally listened, yes.
Yeah, because, there's a whole section in my book, I don't know what chapter it is off the top of my head, that I talk about, you're going to get knocked over the head over and over again. And first it's a whisper, and then it gets louder and louder if you don't listen. And then basically it said, you're done. And this is God's way of saying, I have other plans for you. You've done your job here, and now it's time to move on. And it takes listening to your intuition and slowing down enough. And like you said, your hard head. What's your sign? What's your zodiac sign? You're an air. Oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. I'm like, okay, so I'm an Aquarius and I don't listen either, but mine is coming from a totally different place because I'm up in the clouds going, wee, I've got this. It's all good. I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, Aries, that makes a lot of sense too. So yeah, we have to sometimes slow down long enough to accept that maybe the path that we think is our path may not be. And so that facing that, then you go, okay, now what? So tell us what happened after that.
Yeah. So after that, I had to really figure out social media and marketing because of my wellness business. And I got really good at that. I loved video because I love connecting with people. I'm super creative. And so when that whole thing started in 2019, should have been a clue. Hey, you're actually really good at this. I grew really fast on TikTok and Instagram, loved it. And then when I had to quit teaching, I was like, where do I put this creative energy even more? And it turned to social media coaching, eventually turned into a social media agency. And I just fell in love with helping people in this way be able to bring out their message, grow their impact, grow their income and their business, and just get more confident. And so I definitely never would have ever gone after this if I was still teaching, because I was even going to start going back and doing personal training. I was going to take more classes, and definitely said no. So I am so happy that happened, even though it was so hard, because 2 years later, I definitely see the plan in it for sure.
And that's so funny because sometimes we can't, we talk about this all the time. You can't see the breadcrumbs in front of you. You kind of have to look back sometimes and say, oh, that's how that path was meant to unfold. But when we're in the thick of it, we can't always see forward, but that's when faith comes into play. And you have to trust that intuition, that divine message, whatever you believe, that you're being guided down a path that's even greater than what you could have ever imagined. And I think that trust piece has to really come into play. Do you feel like there was ever a moment where you were like, am I doing the right thing? Is this my thing? Is it not my thing? I want our listeners to really resonate with where you were in that moment of really trusting this process.
Yeah. I didn't want any of that to happen. So I think I fought it really hard, and people would tell me, you should do this. You should expand in this way. And I said, I'm not doing that. This is just cute until I figure out what I really want to do. And I just said, let's give it 6 months. And I think it was maybe a year and a half ago, I was coaching business owners online, how to create online businesses in another business. And I said, let's just see what happens for 6 months. Let's go fully into coaching, management, and start creating things that will help support people. And if it works, then we know that we're on the right path. And if it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. And my coaching relationship with this business ended in March. My business doubled from March to April. And I saw We're on the right
Hey, I
path
guess this
here.
is it. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sign.
Yeah. And so I think like just going from there to now, as you expand and grow, you're going through different seasons, scaling, different things are needed from you. So I think it's just like continuing forward and knowing that you're doing the right thing while also knowing that everything is absolutely like figure outable while you
I
go.
love that. I
And it's
love that
okay.
phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that sometimes we get so caught up in the weeds of what we're going through that we're like, oh, maybe this isn't meant to be, or maybe this isn't me. And I think when you say that everything is figure outable, it's like no matter what it is. And you will know if it's not. Like you will know if it's not your path. And resistance showing up isn't necessarily a sign that it isn't your path. It's a sign that's testing you to say, you're capable of this. And I'm going to show up and resist you to prepare you for what's coming next and prepare you for this next level of business and doubling your business. And so it's all about going through it and not rejecting the hard parts, and not rejecting the resistance that's coming up and saying, oh, well, I'm going to throw in the towel because this is hard. I think that's the difference between those who succeed and those who walk away, is just that they're willing to be persistent through it all.
100%. I think too, just from, growing as fast as we did, I think that a lot of times when we're trying new things or we experience a lot of momentum, we can live in our head and we can be like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And it's just like a loop. But there's always a like next step that would make things easier. And so what I found is if I stop that and I say, okay, Jordan, what is the next right move that we can make, even if it's small, that's going to help this? And when I make that, I'm like, oh, what's next? Instead of sitting there and like doom scrolling or in your head. That's just what helps me move forward, is what's the next step.
100%. I love that, because there's always a next step, right? You can always look at something and say, okay, maybe I can't or maybe I'm in this place and this is stuck right here, right now, but there is a way forward in a different way. And how do I do that all the time in my business. Like if I'm feeling stuck in an area, like whatever it is, I'm putting on an event or I'm putting on a retreat or I'm trying to get more speaking gigs and I feel like I'm butting my head against the wall, I will go, okay, right now, this is not the way forward. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but I'm persistent and I'll keep going. But what is another way forward so that I can keep momentum going? What can I do next? Like, I'm a classic, I'll just throw an event person. I'll throw an event. I was like, okay, so who can I collaborate with and do something with? And let's go move forward in this direction so I can keep my momentum and keep my the branding going and my efforts going while I'm pushing this big boulder up the hill over here. Right. And I think that's so important. It's not that I want to get off track or, go to the next shiny object, but it's like, I know that I'm stuck here and there's some resistance going on. I'm going to keep moving forward, but I'm going to move forward in another way that feels like there's momentum until this starts getting a nudge. And sometimes it's like energy creates energy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. Okay, so let's dive into the whole social media piece, because you do a lot in this space. Like I know there's a lot of people who say they're a content creator, and they're content creators. And we have a restaurant business here in the South Bay of Los Angeles, and we've hired social media experts to help us, and definitely has moved the needle in a lot of ways. And for a while there, it was like we were doing all the trending viral stuff. And that was getting us a lot of attention and likes, but it wasn't necessarily moving the needle. So I'd love to talk a little bit about, your view of that and how to help these new business owners. There's a lot of people, like I mentioned when we were offline, or before we hit record, listen to the show, are newer business owners, or they're growing their business on social media since it's taken off. And now we're like 15 years into it being taken off. What feedback would you give them about social media right now?
Yeah, I think that it doesn't have to be hard. And I think everyone listening was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I do mean that with so much, because I've seen it. And what I would recommend is, just getting started And I would say like your voice and your story is what is going to be the most powerful thing that you share. I love trends and I think they have a place, and like so do relatable content, funny content. I love to bring all that in. But also there's nothing that really like replaces why you started this in the first place. And so you simply coming on, even as a business owner, having a brick and mortar, any type of business that you have, and talking to the camera, or even showing people behind the scenes what it is that you do and why you do it, telling your story, that's what's really going to help people resonate with you. And so I would say get started. The biggest thing I think is decide what consistency looks like for you. And don't make it like 7 posts a week when you first start or 2 posts a day. That's crazy. I would love for y'all to start at 3 and then move your way up to 5. And that feels really good because I know from working with people, if you start too fast, too soon, you just feel like this is another job that you didn't sign up for. So that's a big thing. And then I would say also, your stories are a great place where you can share all that really casual behind the scenes content where people can really get to know you. So kind of like demystifying the start of it is just choose your consistency level, however many times you want to start posting, and start posting because you will figure it out. It's going to feel foreign 100% because you've never done this before. So give yourself grace, but just get started.
I love that advice. And it's so true. Like, listen, I've only been posting for my business, my personal business, for the last couple of years. And I have always followed the rule of just be authentic to you and just show up as you and don't try to create this beautifully curated post and, with all the bells and whistles and all the things. I'm not there and I'm not going to be there anytime soon on my own. Hopefully when I'm ready to hire someone like you and really level up it to the next level where I'm hosting lots of events and I need someone that's creating my content for me. And I feel like right now it has to feel right. And I think 3 times a week, we could all manage 3 times a week, even if it's just putting something out there about, something that you're passionate about or, whatever. And I was never good at like, okay, you're going to post on Tuesday at 2:00 and Wednesday at 1:00. And I was never good at that.
Yeah.
And I used to let that feel like part of my job. And then I was like, no, I'm going to commit to posting no matter what 3 times a week, even if that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, don't put the rules, just get in the habit of doing it. So I love that you say that. And then the authenticity piece for me, I think is so important because you can tell when people are being themselves and being real. And that's the only way that's going to make you stand out and your brand stand out in all of this noise is by you being you, right? So important. Okay, so I have to go there, and I know it's like the topic that everybody's been talking about for the past year and a half. But like Instagram is so frustrating because Instagram is where I know it's like Instagram is where I started, and I've been on Facebook since 2008, but it was personal and whatever. It was a place to connect with friends and this and that, and I just now auto post to Facebook. I don't even go into Facebook and post it. But Instagram is really where I've been curating my, online brand. And now like the algorithm is so crazy. I don't even get it. Like everybody says it's now all it is pay to play. Like what would you say about Instagram versus Facebook and versus TikTok and what is the best strategy? Because I think everyone's wanting to know, how do I do this?
Yeah, I would say have a parent platform. That's where you start and that's where you create your content and you post first. It could be Instagram, it can be Facebook, it can be TikTok. It just depends like where you feel most comfortable creating. And then what I do now is like my parent platform is TikTok. I then post to Facebook and then I post to Instagram. So figure that out for yourself and like where you spend the most time. And what I want to say is like TikTok and Instagram are pretty much the same thing at this point. TikTok is still way more casual than Instagram, but Instagram is pretty casual, way more casual than it was in 2022 or 23. Like, I don't think that you need these very aesthetic feeds anymore because no one's going to go to your page unless they meet you at a conference and like stalk you. For the most part, people are just scrolling.
Yeah.
And so,
Like it used to
yeah.
be about what do they call it? Your grid or
Yes.
whatever, how it's curated. Like my daughter, she's 26 and how she would always talk about like, oh, with our restaurant business, oh, it needs to look when people go to your, and I don't think people do that anymore. They don't look. And I mean, for my speaking, I do want to have enough pinned posts at the top about me speaking, because if people are looking to hire you, that's your resume, right? Is to look and say, oh, I see her speaking here and there and there and there. Okay, she's doing it. So, but it's more about the actual post or reel or whatever it is that you're doing, having it be not so curated, having it be authentic, having it be, specific to you and what you do versus like having it look pretty.
Totally.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I am not on TikTok yet. I have been a TikTok like arm's length kind of person for many reasons. One, I don't understand it. I haven't been on it enough to understand it. But I promised myself, and I just said it in this brunch that I hosted today to someone, that I'm going to get on TikTok in the new year. It's going to be my goal. I know. And everybody says, like, if you're not on TikTok, you're missing out. Like, I used to think it was just, originally it was the dance videos that everybody was like, oh, we're on TikTok. And then I was like, oh, it's my kids watching, whatever, like YouTube, just shorts, and the same thing as TikTok. And now I'm hearing like, this is the place where you can actually be, like you said, even more casual, be yourself, just sit in front of a camera and talk, because that's what people are looking for. And so I know that this is important, but it's kind of been my like big scary thing that I haven't done yet. When we look at growing on social media, what would you say if someone is established, but they're looking to grow? Like, let's say they have like 1,000 followers and they're looking to grow their audience on social media. What is the best strategy for that?
Yeah. So, trial reels for you on Instagram will be what I recommend. And I think one thing I love teaching is the simplicity of having a content bank in your phone, which is just a bunch of B-roll kind of videos that you already have edited with no text whatsoever. So you can then use it again and again and again, because trial reels really love quantity. And trial reels, if you guys don't know, they go to your non-followers. So you can get crazy on there. You can be a little bit controversial, a little spicy if you want to, and no one's going to see it that follows you. So it's kind of fun. You can test a lot on there, but that is where you should focus 99% of your time. I still think like 5 videos a week on your actual page is great, just to stay consistent there. But your growth will come from trial reels more so than anything else right now on Instagram.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Trial reels. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. So I love this, and you're letting the cat out of the bag right now, because I didn't know that this existed. So I'm literally going to probably like go search it right after we get off this recording. That is such awesome, because when you go through afterwards and you look at all of your, whatever that's called, where you look at your what's the word?
Analytics.
Thank you. Yeah. Not a tech person over here.
I got you.
You're looking at your analytics, and you can see how many non-followers versus how many followers saw your post or reacted to it. And I mean, for the most part, most of the people are just my followers who already know what I do, and I love them. And that's why I'm like connecting with them regularly on social media. But you also want to reach people that aren't following you yet. And it's really hard to get people to share stuff. I mean, people aren't doing that as much as they used to. So this is such powerful info. Trial reels on Instagram. Okay. Write that down, people.
It's so fun. And what I will say is, so for me, I kind of I went a little crazy in the beginning with this because there wasn't a cap until there was a cap. And I think it was my fault. I was doing like 25 to 30 a day. I was kind of crazy. Wow. But now I think a good sweet spot for you is 5 to 10. And the way to make that actually doable is to have that content bank of B-roll and just post. And for me, I never share anything to my page. I never take anything down. like, even if it doesn't perform, I'm like, it still is me showing up, and that's enough. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that.
And listen, guys, that's coming from the guru here, that you don't have to worry about how many likes or engagement or anything else. Just keep putting stuff out there. This is not the place where you get hung up on how many people engaged in your stuff, right? Like I used to get, like I'll have a post or a reel or something that I'll put out and I get so much engagement on it, like, hundreds and hundreds of likes. And then the next one will be like 25. And I'm like, what I don't get this. Like, I thought that was really good content, but either like the rhyme and reason behind all this, like it's out the window, right?
Yeah. It's about
Yeah.
consistency.
Okay. So it's about consistency. So the rules of the old days where it was like post at the same time every day, is that still a thing?
No, I think it's just morning and night do really well. I think for a lot of people that probably follow you, they're like coaches and launching things. Sunday night is like a golden time, whether you're on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, for you to post. So that's
I
just what
love
I
that.
would
I
say.
do a lot of Sunday nights. Yes. I
Love
love that.
Sunday nights. But
Yeah.
just afternoons, people are like not on social media. So like take time off or like go do something else that you want to do and then come back.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. So I have a question for you because this is going to be super important. We talk so much right now about the importance of being present, and social media is a way to get away from that. And you're in the social media business. So how do you manage to have your quiet time away from social media when this is what you do for a living and you're posting about your own stuff, plus you're posting about your client stuff. So you're on social media all the time.
Yeah.
How do you stay present? Right? Because we're all trying to do that.
Yeah, I think some things I'm working on are if you guys have ever heard of batching, I batch all of my content myself for my page. And batching is just basically doing all of your content for the week within an hour or two. That's what I do because, like, I'm on my phone a lot. I'll just be very honest. It's what I do. I don't want to be on there as much. So I batch all my stuff, I schedule it, and I do that for my clients as well. And then I do have times like right now I'm loving hot yoga. I go do that. My phone is face down. I don't film myself doing that because I also don't want to do that. I'm like
Yeah.
in my zone.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just important to have certain times. And, also at night, like when is your shut off time? Because we could scroll all day and be trying to get ideas. That's what I used to tell myself. Oh, I'm getting ideas. This is great. I'm going to save this. I will never look at those again. Like it's just wasting time. And so for me, I have to have like buffers in place or my screen time will be like 12 to 13 hours a day, which isn't healthy for anybody. So,
Right. I love that you say that.
yeah.
And my so my mentor, I think Amberly Lago, um, she what she said she had to start doing, because she's on social media a lot and she posts all her own content.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like one of the busiest people I've ever met in my life, and she manages to. But she said she had really had to start protecting her peace by going on and posting what she needed to post first. Then she would literally go through and go comment on people's stuff that tagged her to support them. And she would give herself like a 45-minute window and say, that's it until the end of the day. So like not going on all out throughout the day, picking a time in the morning and a time in the evening and limiting yourself literally to 30 minutes and like setting a timer and being like, cause you can, like, we all know we get stuck scrolling. And we're like, what rabbit hole am I down? Right. We've all been saying that for years now.
Right.
And like, how did I come up with, I'm watching Miss Piggy singing on the top of a mountain, like whatever we've been going, hole we've been going down. And you're like, how did I just waste an entire hour of my day? And so I love that she taught me that. Go on in the morning, like my first, and everybody on the show knows, I wake up in the morning, I do my gratitude practice, I do my prayer, and I have my hot water and lemon, then I get my kids out of bed, I get them out of the house, and then I do my social media. I don't look at my phone until that.
That's awesome.
And I don't look at my email until all that has happened. And then I give myself a window, and I allow myself, 10 or 15 minutes or however long sometimes it takes me a long time to post. I'm not going to lie, 'cause I'm not good at this stuff. This is why I need to hire you. And I'm really not, like, when you say batching, like that gives me anxiety, because I cannot sit and try to create content for 5 days in one sitting. There's just no way. Like I'll lose my mind. So I know for someone like I'm your ideal client because you're just like hand it over to me and I'll do it because I don't batch. I'm not one of those people. But I can, when I know I want to post something, make the time to do it and then schedule it into my day and then give myself 30 minutes to go on. And I'm really on social media for the most part, not for content for me to consume, but for me to support other people in business, like all the women in my mastermind or whoever, my previous mastermind that I was in, like I'm on there to connect. For me, it's a connection tool more than anything, and to support other people's businesses. And then that's my purpose on social media. And that's not everybody. Everybody has their reasons for being. And then, we talk about the lurkers that are on social media who will like tell you, oh, I see you all over social media. I'm like, really? Well, why didn't you comment or like it? And so everybody has their reasons for being on social media. But, it's all good, but it's just like knowing how to manage it, I think is the most important.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So talk to me a little bit about how you work with clients. Like if someone that is listening or watching this show wanted to call you, take me through the process of how you would onboard them.
Yeah. So we just offer a lot of different options. I think I've been told like I have a lot of ways people can work with me no matter where they're at. And I think that just happened organically. So I love it. I think it's so fun. One way that we help clients is with coaching. So if you are somebody that wants to learn the how and do it yourself, we definitely offer coaching. We do a group program. We also offer one-on-one. And it's like a 6-month program because I want people to start. I know that there's a lot of mindset stuff in the beginning and then we build. And so that's like one of my favorite ways. The second way is through social media management, where you want somebody to like understand your brand, your voice, but you also don't want to be posting. You don't want to be doing your stories. We work together with you. And one thing I think that's different with what we do is that we're really collaborative. Like I want you to be able to post whenever you want to as well. If something drops in for you, it's important you can do that. So we'll have posts going out for sure and can just edit your content. And we have courses also if you want kind of more of that, like, how do I do it? And then I also have a community. And my community, we on Facebook's about 750 people as of today. It's really exciting. And in there, it's a free community and I offer resources, tips. You guys can find out about my challenges. I do quarterly challenges too. So we just really love to offer like help wherever you're at with your social media.
I love that because it's not like a one size, like there may be people who are just starting out that really can't afford to hire you and do all the content and all that, but you offer kind of an entry point that's doable for everyone. And then for the ones who are more established that are looking to take it to the next level, you offer that service. And I love that you offer the coaching. I've never heard of anyone that's done that. So at least not that I've explored. So that is so amazing because listen, my friend and I call her my partner in crime, Corey Matthews, who I host a lot of events with. We're doing a collaboration here in the local area of Los Angeles. And she's really good at her social media and she bashes all the time. She does all this stuff and she talks to me about it and like as if I know what I'm talking about. And I'm literally like, oh my God, like I'm going to lose my mind and I don't know how to do this. And she's the one that's like, oh, no problem. I got it. And she'll do all this stuff. And I'm just like, how did you do that so fast and so easy? So everybody has their threshold. And I think that's so important because social media is it's a love-hate relationship for so many people, right? Like I was never this person that enjoyed being on Instagram, like regularly, unless I had something fun to share about my kids or my anniversary or a birthday or whatever. And now it's like, I gotta be on social media. And so many people, when I first started this business, all my friends were like, my girlfriends that I grew up with that I still am close to would be like, why are you on social? What are you doing? You're trying to be an influencer? And I was like, no, I'm building a business and I have to be on. Like this is what you have to do in 2025 and 2026. So it's kind of one of those love-hate things. Like I'm not uncomfortable being in front of a camera. I can speak. I'm all good with all of that. It's more about the technical piece and the kind of the strategy piece of how it all works is not current in my brain.
Mhm.
Like I'm a media person from the 2000s and the 90s. Like that was, I grew up in media in those days, working in advertising and, media sales and TV and radio. So I understand that piece and I understand the branding piece. I don't understand the tech piece. And so it's like for people like me who are just like, taboo, someone like you is so just valuable because I know that you would take so much off my plate that I would be able to focus on so many more things. And I think that's why most people really need to find their person that can help them with this once they want to really grow. And they've done enough on their own that they're like, okay, I need to next level this and I can't do it because it's just bogging me down too much. So I just had to like dive into that part of it. So talk to me about like, is this your forever thing? Are you visioning like growing even more? Like what does this business look like for you next year and beyond?
Yeah. So we also do retreats. So we'll be having our third retreat in Scottsdale. So I envision that piece of the business going international, maybe fall of this year. I haven't felt anything yet. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But we do two a year. And so I see it going international eventually and turning into something really expansive. And the first place we will go will be Greece because I love it. It's like has a special place in my heart. And I think we'll grow into events. I also believe the agency will evolve and just be really helpful for people to be able to meet them where they're at. I see a lot more courses. I will be starting a YouTube channel and being very consistent this next year. Just to give people, I think, more technical help and tutorials on there is what I see there. And then just excited to grow more coaching. And eventually I will be launching a mastermind in the next couple of years. So
Oh my
it's
gosh. Well,
it's
I
gonna
want to
be
be
fun.
part of that mastermind. I feel like you're someone who I could learn so much from. And I love your energy and like who you are and who you show up as. I just think is, I'm all about women connecting and empowering each other. And I just feel like I felt that from you from the get go.
Yeah.
Even though we've only met, I think once, maybe twice in person at
Oh
events.
yeah.
So, and we get to see each other at a line in January, which is going to be amazing. Cool. So tell me a little bit about your retreats really quick.
Yeah. So when I was thinking about creating the retreats, the content piece is what I hear a lot from people is I get into my day and then I forget I need to film all this stuff. And I thought, what could I create that would fix that? And so when people come to my retreats, they leave with over a month to a month and a half, if not more, of content. So we do a photo shoot on site. We also have like a whole list for you to just go through and get different shots. And so then you can take those and use them for B-roll. I also teach you how to script for voiceovers because I think that's a massive piece. Like our voice is the most powerful thing we have. So I also teach you how to start doing that and then be able to film it in a way that you don't start it and then get tongue tied and then feel like you've just wasted your time. Maybe that's just me. So when people come, they get that piece and they also get, some hands-on sessions. We have a lot of fun. It's in beautiful locations. And I just really want people to feel really supported when they come in and then leave with systems and tools and also coaching too.
Love this. And I'm such a big believer in retreats. I host them myself. And one of the things that I have really realized is that it's, having a monthly meeting is great. Having a workshop is great. Having a day long event is great. But a retreat where you get to be immersed for a few days in this space really does carry you throughout the year. And it's such a powerful, you really do get on another level of connection. And with the people that you're there with the information, and it just is really a transformative experience, no matter what the content is. So I really am a big believer in that too. So I'm going to have to like get some more information on that. In fact, so why don't you tell our listeners, our audience, where they can find you on social media, all that good stuff, and we'll make sure everything's in the show notes.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok under Jordan Kylie Official. And then also my website is jordanreynoldscoaching.com. I have lots of info on there with how to work with us and how you guys can join the community as well as on there. So yeah, I would love to have you guys.
Amazing. And we'll talk offline, and I'll get a little more detail about the retreat so I can add that in there as well on the social media. But obviously you can find that on Jordan's website. And Jordan, you are awesome. I can't wait to see you next month in San Diego at Align. We're going to have some powwow. I know you're going to be busy working and doing a lot of workshops and behind the scenes stuff too, but I can't wait to catch up with you more there. And you guys follow Jordan. She's a rock star. Just what she's doing on social media and what she does for her clients. I've seen it firsthand. It's truly amazing. And reach out to her if you think that you're ready to really explore social media, whether it's like right out of the gate or if you're, ready to level up. I know I am. That's one of my goals for 2026. So definitely reach out to her, follow her. And I can't wait for you guys all to just see the amazing work that she does. And Jordan, thank you so much for being here. You are awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Of course, anytime. And we'll see you soon, guys. Can't wait for next week's episode. Download and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this episode beneficial. And if you feel compelled to do so, share it with a friend who might benefit too. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Reach out to me anytime on my website at jenmentasana.com.